This lesson will introduce you to a program named Howdy window. It's sort of like the Howdy program, but it pops up a window of its own to display text. As you might expect, it's a little more complicated than the Howdy program, but not by much. Here's the Howdy window program, which I've already written, so you don't have to watch me type. It's only a few lines longer than the simple text Howdy program, but it does use some new concepts, so let me go through it line by line. At the very top, you see two import statements. The only purpose of an import statement is to tell the compiler where to look to find something. In this case, we're going to be using the frame class and the label class inside the program, so the import statement is here to give us the full name of the classes whenever the program refers to them by their simple names. That's all the import statement does, provide the full names for things so the compiler will know where to look for them when you refer to them. The class declaration is the same as before, defining a class with the same name as the file that contains it, but something new has been added. This class extends the frame class. That means that this class is a frame class with some stuff added to it. The stuff added to it is the code in this class definition. It's still a frame class in all respects. It just has some new things added. Just like the Howdy class, this class also has a main method, which means it can be executed by the Java virtual machine. In this example, all the main method does is create a new Howdy window object. The main method is very special, and if you want to, you can think of it as not really being part of the class. It's sort of an entity of its own used to get things started. The new command creates a new object of the Howdy window class. This object will execute to display the window. Notice this method, which has the same name as the class. This is called a constructor. It executes whenever a new object is constructed from the class. A constructor is the only method in a class that is not declared as having a return value. The default return value from a constructor is the address of the new object being created. As we'll see in just a little bit, you'll be able to save the addresses of objects in special locations so they can be used later. In the window we're going to create, we want to display some text. This can be done by inserting a label object into the window. Step 1 is to create a place to store the address of the label object that we're going to create. And that's what this declaration does. Now, it's important that you remember that this declaration only creates a storage location. It does not create an actual label object. This is the statement that creates the label object. All objects are created with a new command. This label object is created by passing the constructor the string of text we want it to display, and the address of the new label object is stored in the location that we created earlier. The add method is part of the frame, and you should remember that we are inside a frame object, so the add method can be used to add the newly created label object to the display of the frame window. The frame object has a pack method that you call to have it position all the objects you've added to the window. In this example, there is only one object to be put in the window, so the pack routine doesn't have that much to do, but it still needs to be called so it can position it properly. Finally, the show method of the frame object is called to display the window. And that's it. That's a complete program that can be used to display a window. It runs, but it doesn't do much. In fact, it doesn't even cooperate. In the next lesson, we'll compile this program and run it, and I'll show you what I mean.